Hello there everyone and welcome back to The Lovely Grind. My name is Michael Prevey and my website is www.lovelygrind.com. That's where you're going to find blog posts about professional fulfillment, spiritual growth, and a balanced approach to total health. Welcome back to this series of YouTube videos that I'm doing about prescription drug withdrawal and surviving that withdrawal. The topic of my website, The Lovely Grind, this month of December is also going to be prescription drug withdrawal. Every month on that site, I like to mix up the topics a bit, change the theme. I send out a newsletter and put out some blog posts. And although a lot of my readers have gone through prescription drug withdrawal or know someone who has, I haven't specifically made that theme the monthly theme at that website yet. But because so many of you out there have gone through it or know someone who has, I'm going to focus specifically on prescription drug withdrawal at my website, lovelygrind.com. And this month I'm going to be putting out several blog posts about the topic. The blog post that I put out today deals with tips for healing from antidepressant withdrawal and benzodiazepine withdrawal. Those are tips that I garnered from my own experience. I withdrew from Paxil and Xanax, medications that I took for nearly 15 years, medications I was prescribed as a much younger man when I was about 21 years old in college. I took them until I was almost in my mid-30s when it became apparent that I needed to make a change in my life. They were causing some problems. But when I stopped taking the medications, some problems happened, some mental symptoms, emotional symptoms, a lot of physical symptoms, and those things were pretty challenging. They didn't let up for me for quite a while. It was an extremely confusing process with a lot of ups and downs, and it dragged on for a little while. But I did find healing. I found light at the end of that tunnel, so to speak, and so I'm sharing that light with all of you out there who are still going through that withdrawal process by means of these videos, and also this month by means of the blog post that I'm putting out at my website, lovelygrind.com. So please visit that website, sign up for the mailing list, and read all the blog posts this month. Share those with friends as well who might need to read those. The topic of today's video is going to be finding the importance of listening to your body during the withdrawal process. It's really a process that challenges us in so many ways, and one of those ways is getting back in touch with how things affect us. How do things affect us mentally and physically, and what should we do as far as what food should we eat or not eat? What should we drink or not drink? What should we do as far as exercise goes? What about social activity and pushing ourselves? All these things. And a lot of people might say that you shouldn't do X, Y, or Z when it comes to diet and drink and exercise, or you should do X, Y, and Z, and those things are going to prevent you from healing if you do them or don't do them, and so forth. And I just don't subscribe myself to such a rigid list of things you should or shouldn't do in order to heal or not heal. I really believe it's much more of an individual process based on common sense, getting back in touch with the basics of good health, and learning how to listen to our own system when it comes to learning how things affect us, whether it's for better or for worse. So that's going to go for food, for drink, for stress levels, for exercise, all that stuff. You know, I changed my diet quite a bit when I started going through withdrawal. I began eating out a lot less, cooking for myself a lot more, eating cleaner, eating more regularly throughout the day, taking in more protein, all those things that are kind of some of the basics of good health. I also cut way back on my alcohol consumption. I also cut out caffeine for a while. I stopped drinking coffee and soda for a period of time. Not because I believe that those things are going to prevent me from healing, but because I was responding negatively to them. They were causing increased anxiety and so forth. And so at periods I cut back on things or gave things up, and then other periods I resumed consuming these things. I changed my diet. That was all a part of learning how to listen to my own body during the withdrawal process so that I felt better, so that I was creating a daily healing environment for myself. Also exercise. Some people say you should exercise all the time. Some say you shouldn't exercise, it's going to ramp up your systems and so forth, or your symptoms and so forth. You know, I say just listen to your body. Always try to exercise, but do what you can. At the way beginning of my withdrawal, I quit the Paxil and I was hit by, severe symptoms. I was really knocked down after I first stopped taking the Paxil. And at that same time, I began cutting back my Xanax, which had ballooned up to 4 milligrams a day by that point. So I was beginning the Xanax taper, going through the Paxil taper, and during that initial period, I was still going through a long commute to work every day, so I didn't have a lot of opportunity to exercise, but before long, I began going for short walks. Maybe just on a Sunday with my wife in the afternoon, and then gradually working it into my week on a more regular basis, up to the point where I was walking several miles several times a week, and then doing some push-ups, and then slowly doing some weights, working some jogging into it, and to the point, nowadays where I'm up to being an avid runner, running 8 or 9 or 10 miles at a time, lifting weights on a regular basis and so forth. But I'm just saying that at the beginning, I understand that we can't do the real heavy working out that we'd like to all the time, but try to make it happen as you can. If you can only do walking, go for a short walk. If you can't get outside, do it in your house on a treadmill, shadow box in place in the bathroom, do some stretching or yoga, something to kind of work up a sweat and really get your body back to where it needs to be as far as getting active. It's going to help all your symptoms eventually in so many respects. The exercise will. So just listen to yourself, ramp it up when you can as far as exercise levels, take it back when you need to as far as exercise levels. It's a process of listening to how it affects you during the healing journey. The other thing is going to be listening to your body and your mind as far as how certain social situations affect you, how professional situations affect you, how is the stress affecting you. Is it better to say no to an invitation because that's going to allow you to find some peace on a daily basis when otherwise you'd be worrying about it up until the time of the social event, and then it would just ramp up your systems because you'd be so, or your symptoms because you'd be so nervous. How does your professional environment affect you? How do your relationships affect you? Is a certain friend or family member constantly dragging you down with negative talk and so forth? If they are, step away for a while. It's just a really eye-opening process when we go through withdrawal of learning how to pay attention once again, and maybe a way we haven't for a while, pay attention to how everything around us affects us. Because everything really does have an effect on us, on how we think and how we feel. Whether it's food, drink, exercise, the professional environment we're in, the social environment we're in, these things all affect us. And the goal here is to learn how to take the best care of ourselves possible. And during the withdrawal process, the goal is to create the best healing environment for ourselves that we can. So that's really the end game in all this, is creating that healing environment so that we heal more quickly, a more sustainable way, and that we continue to make a progress rather than getting discouraged. So please go to my website, check out those tips for healing from antidepressant withdrawal and benzodiazepine withdrawal. Remember to click the thumbs up on this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to this YouTube channel so you get all of my videos. Subscribe to my mailing list at my website, lovelygrind.com, so you get all the blog posts and my monthly newsletter. Hit me with questions and comments on this YouTube channel, or at Facebook at lovelygrind, or Twitter at lovelygrind. I'll try to respond to everyone, and I always enjoy reading them all. Until next time, I'm Michael Preby. Please remember to take care of yourself and your dreams.